Hey everybody, welcome to Boardgame Heaven. My name is Raymond, and in this video I'm going to take a look at Tuned by Alessandro Cuneo with illustrations by Paolo Voto. This game is published by Thundergryph Games, who I would like to thank for donating a copy for me to review. It's an abstract strategy for 2 players, which plays in about 10 to 20 minutes for ages 10 and up. And before I start explaining how to play the game and share my thoughts, I'd like to ask you all for a favor, and please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you're already subscribed, you're an absolute legend. Also, please check out my Patreon page if you'd like to support what I do, which you can do for as little as just €1 per month or more, and in return you will get early access to all of my videos, your name in the credits, and also access to Patreon exclusive content. Alright, let's open up the box and set up a game. To set up the game, you simply put the board on the table, give every player 2 of each of the pieces and 1 rooster piece, which you place in the middle spot of your 3 actions on the board. Then you decide which player gets to go first, and that player will start by choosing a placement action, which is the only action currently available, because the action where you place your rooster will become unavailable on the next turn. So you've got 2 placement spots and 1 movement spot, which simply means the placement means that you can take one of your pieces and place it anywhere on the board. So for example, I could take one of my donkeys and put it here. On a next turn, if I move my rooster to the movement spot, I can take any piece on the board and move that to any available space. There are a couple of rules though. If you're placing a dog, you can of course place it anywhere on the board like normal. Same goes for the cat. But if you're placing a piece on top of another piece, the dog always goes on the donkey and the cat always goes on the dog. You can never place the cat directly on the donkey. That is not allowed, but otherwise you can place them however you want. When you move a piece, you can also move any single piece to any available spot. You can also move a tower of pieces around if you want to. You can move the entire thing if you want, but you can also pick up a part of the tower and move that. So I could move the cat here to a different spot, or even the dog and the cat together to a different spot. A player wins if they manage to make 3 in a row of a single color, but only the top piece counts. So that means in this case the gray doesn't count. That's the dog. So if there was a dog here and another player would put a dog here, there would be 3 dogs in a row, but since the cat is on top, it is now not 3 of the same colors in a row. Then of course, if another player could move, they could simply move the cat somewhere else, and then they would win by creating 3 in a row. So in this game, you don't own a color. All the colors belong to all the players. You simply have 6 pieces to begin with each, and you simply place or move them on the board until one of the players manages to score 3 in a row of the same color. Another rule is that you may never undo the previous player's last turn, so you can't literally reverse the last move. So let's play an example round to get a bit of an idea of how that works. So let's say the left player starts, so they have to place a piece, of course. That's the first thing you do. So maybe they want to start with a donkey and they're placing it in the middle of the board. The other player does the same, and maybe they're gonna play a dog on the board over there. Now the first player can now choose between placing a piece or moving a piece. Now since there aren't that many pieces on the board yet, maybe they're going to choose to move again or to place a piece again, and maybe they want to place another dog over there. Now this player can now also either move or place something, but for example, if they were to move something and they would move this piece here, then the next player could place another dog on top of this donkey and score 3 gray pieces in a row and win. So they're not gonna do that. So maybe they want to place a different color. So they're gonna place a piece again, and maybe they're gonna do this on top of that dog. So the first player again has to place a piece now because they chose the movement action last turn, so they can't choose that this turn, so they have to place something, and maybe they're going to place another donkey, and they're going to put it not over here, because then the other player could simply put one there, so they're going to put it here since that spot is taken. Now this player is going to move some pieces, and they're going to move this piece up here. Maybe this player wants to place another piece, and they're going to place their cat on top here, since they know that the other player cannot place a cat directly on the monkey. And these stickers that you get in the box that you stick on these pieces already show you that you can only put a dog on the donkey and a cat on the dog. So now this player has to put a piece on the board, so maybe they're gonna put, let's say, this piece over here. Now the player on the left might want to place another piece, and they can place this piece over here since they know that the other player doesn't have any dogs left, so they can't place that here. Now this player is thinking the same, so they might want to place a donkey over here because they know that the other player can't place a donkey over there. Now this player has to pay attention, because if they don't block this, then that player is simply going to place their last donkey over there and win the game. So they're going to try and block that. So they have several options. They could move a donkey away from this row, so they could move this donkey over here, for example, but that wouldn't help that much, and also moving it there or there would be the same situation, so that's not an option. They could also move one of the dogs, so they could move a dog here, for example, so that would work. And they could move this entire stack over there as well, but that would be dangerous since then they still have a cat, and they could place that here and score 3 in a row. So that's not an option. So they're actually forced to move something. So they're going to move one of the dogs and maybe this entire stack. So let's say they move this one over here. So now this player has to also make a move or placement. They can choose, but they're going to choose and move one of the pieces. They're going to move this piece over here. So now this player can only place something, since last time they were forced to move, which that player very cleverly designed that way. So now they have to place something. So now they're kind of stuck because they cannot place the cat on either of these donkeys directly. It needs to be a dog or the ground floor. So they could put it here, but then that player could move the cat there and win. Same goes if they put it here, or if they put it here. And same goes if they put it here or here. So basically this player already lost through clever play of the other player. So they're just gonna put it here, which means this player can now put their cat over there and score 3 in a row. So there's an example of how you play tuned. Let's go to my final thoughts. So my final thoughts on Tuned by Thundergryph Games. Let's start with the components. The box is absolutely beautiful. I like that it looks like a book, a large, nice looking book that sits on your shelf. It has a magnetic cover, and the plastic insert also has a plastic lid to keep everything safely in place, and it closes nicely with the magnet. So that looks really cool. It's not really bigger than it needs to be. It's kind of a big box for what you see here, but all the models have their own little slot, and it fits in the box pretty well. The pieces themselves are absolutely gorgeous, really cool, big and chunky, nice looking pieces with the donkey, the dog, the cat and the rooster from the fable of the Bremer Staatsmusikanten, which I like a lot. The theme is very fun. The board is also of a good quality, just a small board that you unfold and put on the table with really nice graphics on it. The artwork is also really beautiful. I love the art on the box and the art on the board. Otherwise, there's not much art in the game. Of course, there's just the board and the pieces, but the pieces are so nice. They're just really, really well sculpted and really funny. The theme, like I said, is based on a old fable about 4 animals that want to make music. I don't know all the details anymore. But in the fable, they do stack on top of each other, with the donkey on the bottom, then the dog, then the cat, and then the rooster. Now in this game, you're not putting the rooster on top, just the three other animals. The rooster is used to indicate which moves you're gonna make. So let's talk about the gameplay. I think the designer did an excellent job here. They took a simple game of tic-tac-toe and turned it into a very, very nice strategic abstract game by just adding a third dimension. I love that. You can just put your pieces on the table, and of course if you have a situation where you have two pieces that could form a line of three, then the other player could simply put down the third one and have three in a row. But of course you're not gonna let that happen. You're gonna strategically think about where you can place another piece without triggering the winning condition for the other player. So you're thinking in three dimensions, and I like that a lot about the game. It's also very quick, it's easy to teach, it's very easy to learn, and you'll get it after one play. You might make a mistake the first time you play and not see certain combinations, certain positions, because you can also, when you've placed like three animals on top of each other, you can move the top one only, or a part of the stack, or of course the entire stack. And that requires a little bit of more 3D thinking, and I really enjoy that. There are many situations in which I've played that I just did not see a winning condition, or you kind of need to think 2 turns ahead. The next turn you can see, but then at some point you're either forced to put something down or to move something perhaps, or if that's your only option. But if you've moved something in your previous turn, then on your next turn all you can do is move, because that's how the rules are. Unless you have no more pieces left. If all the pieces that you have are already on the board, then all you can do is move, of course. And your opponent can see that, and they can take that into account. And I think that's very clever. So you're constantly trying to think at least 2 turns ahead to see if you can force your opponent into doing something that will help you gain the victory. Like I said, it's a very quick game, so the replayability is pretty high. I always like to play a couple of games in succession to see if I can get best out of 3 or best out of 5. It's just that much fun to play, and it's really short. So in my opinion, the gameplay and the replayability are really good. Lastly, there's the language dependency. The game is absolutely language independent because it's simply an abstract strategy with a number of pieces on a board, and that's it. So all you need is the rules, and they are so simple, anyone can explain them in a couple of minutes. So in the end, I absolutely love this game and can certainly recommend it to anyone who likes an abstract strategy that also looks really good. And I think this game absolutely has a place way up there with other beautiful looking abstract strategies such as Santorini, which I also love a lot. Again, thank you very much to Thundergryph Games for donating a copy for me to review. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and please check out my Patreon page by clicking the link in the description below or the icon at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Board Game Heaven.